from Imperial College London, UK. And here I will read the curriculum vitae of Dr. Asmida, but maybe I don't read all the publication and experience. Maybe some of significant position and publication that are join the international and national level research, such as Asia Pacific Network for Sustainable Agriculture, Food, Energy, and became a speaker in several international conferences. And the research of Dr. Asminda is about biodegradable plastic using selected species of green and blue-green microalgae as a source of for bioplastic production. Uh, Before we start this guest lecture, let's start by Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hopefully today's guest lecture can run smoothly and successfully. Again, the next agenda is the presentation by Dr. Asmida and continue with the Q&A session. To save the time, I'm glad to welcome Dr. Asmida, who will present about competition, predation, and mutualism. Please, Dr. Asmida, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Bonailis. Thank you for welcoming me. We also have with us Dr. Edwin, Bu Iska, Bu Indah, and siapa lagi ya? I do not want to miss anyone. Any of the staff from the ITS. Thank you so much for willing to spend your time with me this afternoon. All right, so today I will share with the students a lecture on predation, mutualism, and cannibalism. I got the title a little bit, I've changed the title a little bit. I include cannibalism because we have already talked about competition last week. All right, Bu Nailis, can I share my screen now?
Yes, you can share now.
All right. Okay. So is the slide okay? Can you see that? Can you see the slides?
Yes.
Okay. So students, without further ado, I would like to give my lecture on predation, cannibalism, and mutualism. This online lecture is a collaboration network between ITS and also UiTM. All right, so this is our learning outcome for today. Towards the end of this session, I would expect all the participants to be able to describe predation, okay, cannibalism and mutualism, and also for the students to be able to explain types of defense mechanism in carnivore relationship. First, let's look at the definition of predation. What is predation? Okay, predation is the transfer of energy and nutrients in community. You know that in this world, we have different species of animals, we have different species of plants, we have human beings in this world. So all of us, all of these living organisms, okay, we are connected to one another. Okay, and we transfer our energy. When you eat your lunch today, okay, when you eat your lunch just now, you are actually obtaining energy from your meal. Okay, so it means that the energy from the food are being transferred to you as a human being. So this is what it meant by the transfer of energy. However, predation is about predator obtaining the energy from the prey. Okay, so we have an example of predation. We have herbivory, carnivory, and parasitism. So we as a human being, we are an omnivores. Okay, we eat variety of food, plants, and animals alike. Okay, but in this complex ecosystem, we also have parasitism, or which the predator feed on the prey. And in this relationship, parasitism gives a negative impact to the prey. Okay, similarly for herbivory and carnivory. All right, when we are talking about plant herbivore system, okay, if you look at this image here, I have a picture, an image of one single aphid feeding on the sap of young plants. Okay, so aphids feed on the sap of the plants. These types of predation gives negative impact or bad impact to the plant, on which the aphid sucks all the nutrients from the plants and transfer the energy from the plants to the aphid itself. Okay, these types of predation sometimes happen in other cases. Okay, it happens in terms of defoliation. Okay, it can also happen in terms of consumption of fruits and seeds. For example, when you have monkey feed on fruits. Okay, that is also types of predation. But we do not normally seeing it as an interaction on which we call it predation, because it is a common mechanism for living organisms to obtain their food, but in fact it is predation. All right, feeding on seeds can be detrimental for the prey itself. Okay, however, it will help in the dispersal of the seed via the feces of the predator. For example, the monkey feed on banana. Okay, if the monkey eat more than it should, so it will give a detrimental effect to the banana tree. Okay, all of the bananas are gone. Not only the monkey feed on the banana fruit, it will also sometimes, when they are in large number, it will also disturb or destroy the banana tree itself. So it could be detrimental. However, predation helps to disperse the seed of the banana to a larger area. So in a way, it is negative, but it will also give some positive impacts to this relationship. All right. And then when we are talking about grasses, okay, we have grazers. Grazers mean a predator with graze on young grass. Okay, in these types of interaction is actually helping the grass to grow even faster, which is why, okay, the grazers will remove the young leaves or young blades of the grass and help the young ones, okay, the young grass or the young blades to get more energy from the sunlight for their photosynthesis. Okay, this is an example of herbivory predation. When we are talking about these types of relationship, we will look at usually we will look at the negative effects, okay, or the impact of the predation, the impact of the relationship. We always look at the negative side, okay, even though there are also some positive ones, as I've mentioned just now. Okay, when we are talking about a predatory or herbivory relationship between moth and leaves, okay, plants that are usually being attacked by moth, their leaves are usually smaller and the canopy area will be reduced up to 60%, okay, 30 to 60% reduced canopy area. Why? Because the moths are feeding on the leaves of the trees. That's why the canopy area reduced. Okay, sebab dia makan kan all the, you know, the daun, okay, the young ones, the young leaves, then the canopy area will be reduced. Similarly, for the aphids that suck the sap of the plants, it will reduce the growth rate and biomass of the plants up to 25%. Okay, because the plants have reduced energy from the, you know, the sugar, the energy from the sugar of the sap. Okay, when we are talking the positive impacts, as I've mentioned for the grasses just now, okay, it helps for the grasses to grow much faster because it helps the young one to obtain more sunlight. All right, still on predation. Okay, when we are talking about predation, all of these all of the prey, they will have their very own mechanism to protect themselves. Okay, this is what we call defense mechanism. Okay, so prey defense mechanism comes in different ways. Okay, let's look at the first one. Okay, first one is chemical defenses, meaning that prey that is being threatened or being attacked by a predator, they will have a specific mechanism to avoid them for being eaten or from being attacked. Okay, for example, we have venom and pheromones. Okay, venom and pheromones. If you look at the picture here, I have a picture of sea lamprey over here. Okay, the first picture here is the sea lamprey. Can you see the black secretion coming out of the belly of the sea lamprey? Okay, this is actually um, a mechanism on how the sea lamprey could avoid them from being attacked or being eaten by the predator. Okay, when the sea lamprey are being threatened, it will secrete this dark secretion. So upon seeing this, okay, the predator usually retreats. Okay, if you are a human being, you want to catch the sea lamprey. Once you see the black secretion, you will feel you might be taken aback, you terkejut, okay, and then you might release the sea lamprey. That's how they save themselves. Okay, similarly for snakes. Okay, snakes will release venoms usually when it attack the predator, attack the prey. However, there are some species of snakes which release the venom before they are even being before it starts to attack the prey. Okay, this is actually a warning system, okay, of the snake. Okay, besides venom and pheromone, okay, we also have secretion. Okay, usually secretes by arthropods or amphibians or reptiles. Let's say if you look at the let's say beetle here. Okay, so beetle, if you have a chance to find beetles in your backyard or in your garden, try to catch them, and then once you get hold of the beetle, you will find that they have some specific smells, and that smell is usually not the smell that you are familiar, and that smell is actually an is uncomfortable to you. Okay, it feels really strong, you feel really strongly about the smell, and you would not want the smell to keep lingering in your on your finger. Then you will release the beetle. Okay, that's how prey protect themselves from being catch or being attacked. Okay, usually it will be secrets in copious amount. Copious amount means dalam jumlah yang banyak. Okay, and the odor are usually very strong. Okay, similarly for millipedes. Okay, millipedes and centipedes, they also have a very strong smell. Okay, it will help them to save themselves from the predator. Okay, next one, we have odor and toxic secondary substance. Okay, if you look at this image here, I have an image of a skunk, okay, on the bottom right side of the slide. Okay, I'm sure that most of the students are quite familiar with skunks. We've seen skunks on TV, we've seen skunks in animation series, and you know that skunks secretes very strong smells. Okay, and that smell is sangat busuk lah bau dia. Okay, very bad smell. So skunks produce secretion that discourage predation. When you smell that bad, okay, predator would not want to go near you. If you are already catching the skunk, you will release the skunk because you do not want that smells anywhere near you because it stays. Okay, so this is how skunks save themselves from the predator. Other types of animals, okay, they will release different types of odor or different types of toxic secondary substance. For example, when we are talking about plants, they have secondary substance. Okay, they have alkaloids, they have terpenes. Okay, when you go into the forest, for example, you accidentally injure the tree, some trees, okay, will secrete yellow colored or red colored secretion from the trunk of the tree. Okay, I have had a chance to go to um, national park in Pahang, in the central state in Pahang. In Malaysia we call Pahang. In that national park, we are studying, okay, the tree composition of timber trees in that forest. We happen to find a tree called pokok darah. Okay, darah means blood. And why do people name the tree in local name pokok darah? It's because when you injure the tree, okay, when you injure the tree, the secretions that coming out from the tree looks like blood, okay, human blood, a thick and red blood. Okay, that types of secretion, okay, will deter the predator from coming closer to the tree. Okay, similarly for trees that secrete tannins. Okay, tannins has a very strong smells. Okay, it will also pushing away predator from taking advantage of all the resources from the tree. Okay, that is for plants. The next one, okay, the next defense mechanisms, okay, we have warning coloration. Okay, when we are talking just now, chemical defenses, this time around we look at color, okay, warning coloration. Some species of animals, okay, they have a very bright and very bold color. Okay, if you look at the image here, we have an insect, okay, which has a very strong color, very bold color. Okay, these types of bees or this type of wasps, okay, they have a bright yellow color. Bright yellow color is actually a warning for you not to touch them, not to come near them, do not try to catch them. Okay, so the predator, upon seeing bright and bold color animals or organisms, they will avoid them. Okay, I have a chance to go for a diving for my research, for my research. Okay, I have always remind my students when they are go for a field work, either having a dive in the ocean or being in the forest, I always remind them not to touch anything, especially organisms or plants which is having a bold color or bright color. Regardless of how beautiful that organism or that plant is, do not touch them, because there is actually a warning for predator or for human being or for any animals not to disturb them. Okay, this is warning coloration. So when we are talking about warning coloration, we have aposematic coloration. Okay, this is what we call the bright color is what we call aposematic colorations. Okay, besides that, we also have mimicry. Mimicry is mimic, mean resembling. Okay, you resembles other individuals. This species resembles other species. Okay, okay. When we are talking about mimicry, okay, the definition for mimicry is one species resembling another species for predator avoidance. Okay, they usually live in the same habitat. If you look at the image here, I have on the bottom right hand side here, I have a picture, okay, of the flower of passiflora. Passiflora, if I'm not mistaken, is the passion fruit. Okay, passion fruit. So passion fruit has large fruits, and their seeds, not seeds, the flesh with the seeds are is the one that the predator is going for. Okay, for example, the caterpillars or the birds are into the fruits. However, okay, passiflora plants have their very own defense mechanism. How are they going to do that? Okay, they will mimic, okay, the flower of the passiflora mimics, okay, the eggs of a butterfly. Okay, it mimics the eggs of the butterfly. Therefore, the butterfly will not be disturbing or will not be attacking the passiflora. Okay, because at a glance, butterfly will think that, oh, there is already an eggs, okay, over there. If you look at the image here, this looks like the eggs of a butterfly. So other butterfly will not go and feed on the nectar of this flower, because they will not go and they will not go and feed on pollens on which the flower already has been marked with eggs by other butterfly. Well, in fact that, okay, the fact that that is not the egg of other butterflies, but it is actually the flower itself which mimics the egg of butterfly. Okay, this is how passiflora defend themselves from being fed on. Okay, all right. And then we have two types of mimicry that is very, very popular when we are talking about defense mechanism. Okay, we have Predation mimicry, and we also have Malarian mimicry. What is Predation and how does it differ from Malarian? Okay, Predation mimicry is a species of animal or insects, okay, for that matter, or any other species, which is harmless, but it mimics, okay, superficially of a harmful species. Meaning that this species, okay, for example, we have Podocisia syringae. These types of insects is harmless, okay? It does not sting. They are not harmful to predators. Because of their non-aggressive behavior, it will be easy for the predator to feed on Podocisia. So what they can do to defend themselves is that they will mimic, okay, a bee. Okay, they will mimic a bee. This, even though if you look closely, they does not look similar. Okay, they are different. But for a predator, because Podocisia and bee both are active moving insects, okay, when they are moving, predator will not be able, at one glance, predator will not be able to differentiate either it is Podocisia or bee. So at one glance, predator might think, okay, that is bee. So I will not attack, or I will not feed on bee because I know bee will sting. Okay, however, that is actually Podocisia. They mimic, okay, the bee. This is what we call Predation. Okay, Predation means harmless, resembles harmful individual, okay, harmful species. The next one is, I've mentioned just now, we have Malarian. Okay, Malarian is also types of mimicry. Malarian, okay, is a resemblance of two or more harmful species, meaning that you have two species, both of them are harmful. So if both of them are harmful, why do they need to mimic? Because they are already harmful. They can defend themselves. Okay, they can protect themselves. But why is this happening? This is due to reducing number of their individuals. So an example that we have here is the Viscera butterfly and also the Monarch butterfly. Okay, the Monarch butterfly is very beautiful, and they are quite large. It's not quite common. It is not uncommon in Malaysia. In Shah Alam, for students who reside in Shah Alam, probably they might remember that we have a case of an abundance of monarch butterfly, I think 2 years back. It even attract reporters to come flocking to the area because there are lots of um, huge and thick green caterpillar invading trees in some parts of Shah Alam. Okay, reporters come over here to take pictures and to report on this phenomena, which is not common in here, but it is actually quite common in other area. But we just do not realize that. So monarchs butterfly, once they are in matured state, in the butterfly state, they will be very large, okay, up to like the size is much bigger than your palm. It's very big, Okay, and it has clear, beautiful pattern on the wing. The thing with monarch is they cannot be found in huge numbers. Okay, their abundance are quite low. Compared to Viscera butterfly, Viscera butterfly is much smaller, and Viscera butterfly is very, very common. If you go to your garden, okay, you will normally see this Viscera butterfly. They are small in size, but monarch, they are very large. So both are unpalatable. Okay, they are distasteful to birds. So birds do not birds do not fancy to eat viscera or monarch. So why do viscera need to mimic monarch? Okay, this is due to the monarch are now reducing in number. So the viceroy, okay, the viceroy is mimicking themselves so that it will not be eaten as well. All right. But the viscera, even though they are large in number, they are small, so they are easily being easily being spotted by not being spotted, being attacked by the predator, be attacked, being eaten by the predator. So for the Malarian, they are usually members of the same genus and family. Compared to Predation just now, they are of different species altogether. Okay. Okay, next slide. Okay, also types of mimicry. This time around is about how young, uh, young or juvenile insects or juvenile amphibians, reptiles, or mammals um, not mimic other species, but they kind of changing, okay, superficially changing the look, okay, the outlook of themselves, which mimics other species. Okay, for example, we have juvenile lizards, juvenile snakes that mimic millipedes. Millipedes are unpalatable for predator, but lizards and snakes are palatable, are delicious, okay, for the predator due to its flesh, okay, high. The biomass of the flesh are much higher compared to millipedes. Millipedes, they have shells, and the flesh inside is when it comes to the biomass of the flesh, okay, between millipedes and lizards or millipedes and snake, millipede has lower biomass. Dia seolah-olahnya jika kita makan isinya agak kosong, okay, compared to juvenile of the lizards and snakes, they are padat, isinya padat. Okay, so the predator will feel fuller for longer, and it is also much more delicious compared to millipedes. Therefore, the juvenile of lizards and snakes has to mimic themselves so they look like millipedes. Okay, if you look at the image here, I have a larvae of a caterpillar, okay, which possess eye spots. So at one glance, predator might think this is real caterpillar. Okay, but in fact it is only a larvae of the caterpillar, not yet full-blown caterpillar. Right, this is very fragile, but they have that eye spot to make them look more aggressive. Okay. And the other image that I have here, this is actually the shell of shark. Okay, the shell of a shark. They look like beetles. They look like some kind of shell of a plant. Okay, this is when it is in fact shell of sharks. It is how they mimic themselves to avoid from being eaten by the predator. All right. So we have covered the mimicry. Now we looked at cryptic coloration. Okay, we look at cryptic coloration. Before I continue with cryptic coloration, I would like the participant, the students, to have a look at this image here. Okay, I have image on the right hand side. I have another image on the left hand side and right hand side. Okay, without looking at the red circle here, I think you and I, all of us, will not be able or it will be quite difficult for us to locate or to detect, okay, organisms or animals that is being in this surrounding or in this environment. But okay, upon further checking, if you look really closely in the red circle, you might see that, oh, there is an ibex in this circle. Okay, and in this circle, red circle, you see that there's another ibex. So if you are a predator, ibex ini adalah kumpulan-kumpulan kambing, okay, kambing gurun. So when you are a predator and that desert is very large, it's a huge desert, the stones, the rocks, the plants, the animals looks almost the same, you will find it very difficult to look for a prey. You will find it quite difficult to look for a prey. So you have to have a really good eye to spot the prey. So this is how cryptic coloration play its role. Okay, you have a color that mimics your surrounding, that mimics your environment. This is what ibex do in their habitats. Okay, another picture is also similar. Okay, we have lizard fish. Okay, lizard fish, you cannot see the fish. Okay, this type of fish, you cannot see it. But if you are looking, if you look at it really, really closely, you find that, yes, there is a fish in here. Okay, mimicking themselves with the surrounding, with the small stones, with the small rocks there, with the debris of the sea floor. Okay, they are almost blending with their environment, so they are safe there. So they stay there to avoid from the predator. They are also mimicking themselves to get their prey. Okay, so they have two purposes here: to hide from the predator and to hide from the prey. Okay, for these types of fish, okay, they feed on other small fish, so they hide themselves. Other small fish cannot see them, they will easily catch the prey. At the same time, it will help them to protect themselves from the predator. Okay, this is what we call cryptic coloration. So remember, cryptic coloration is blending with the environment. So another example for cryptic coloration is stick insect and also leaf insect. All right, when we are talking about stick insect, okay, this is the twigs, okay, the twigs of a plant. So these types of trees, okay, the twigs of these trees are brownish or grayish in color. And the stick insect will be residing or will be inhabiting a tree which has the same color with its body. It will not go and inhabit a tree which has greenish in color. Okay, it will not go and inhabit a plant which leaves or which blade is green in color. That will be a place for the leaf insect. So if you look at leaf insect, you might find it very difficult. You might find it very difficult to spot leaf insect when they are on leaves because they look like leaves. This one does not look like leaves. Does not so much look like leaves, but they still can mimic themselves. I have an experience on which I bring my students to a place called Insect and Butterfly Farm in Penang, at the northern area of Malaysia. At that farm, we have a tree, okay, and on that tree, I ask my student to spot to list any insects that they are able to see. And my students said, we cannot find any insect on this tree, madam. I asked them to keep on looking and to keep on searching. After some time, one of my students said, yes, I've seen something. And I told that student, okay, do not show the insect that you have seen. Do not tell your friend what you have seen. Let them detect that for themselves. And after a while, Another student are able to see the leaf insect. And once they get to see the insect, they get very excited. Oh my God, they really look like leaves. They look like leaves. They do not look like insect at all. This is because they have a wing, and they have the structure of their body which looks like leaves. If I have a chance to, if you have a chance to go on the net, I would suggest for you to go and type leaf insect, and you will see that it really looks like leaves, especially the leaves of a guava tree. Okay, they have the veins of the guava leaves. That type of leaf insect, they have the veins of the guava leaves. The what is that? The width of the insect is also looks like the leaves of the guava. It is very interesting how animals, how in this case insects or amphibians or arthropods mimics their surroundings to to be blend in with the surroundings so that they will be safe from the predator. All right, then we have, okay, after cryptic coloration, we have flashing coloration. Flashing coloration is almost similar to the warning coloration, okay, warning coloration. So for flashing coloration, I have two examples here. I have scarlet king snake and also the coral snake. Okay, the thing with these two type of species, one is harmless, the other one is harmful. Okay, this is how they mimic themselves. Okay, so that they will be safe. Not only snake, we also have other species of animals. We have other species of we have plant species as well, which also have flashing coloration, right? Butterfly, grasshoppers, and birds display visible color patches when disturbed. This time, this one is different. This one, when it is being disturbed, they will have different color on their body, okay, to warn the predator not to keep on proceeding to attack the prey. Usually, when the animal change color, okay, the predator will fly away, or the predator will flee the area. Okay, therefore, if you have encountered an animal on which you are not familiar and that animal change in color, you have to be known that that is actually a warning from the animal, so that you will not proceed to go any nearer. Okay, you have to retreat. Once you retreat, the animal will also retreat. That is usually the rule when you encounter any animals which is aggressive. Okay, for example, have you heard about people who encountered elephants or tigers in the wild? Okay, probably you might have heard about that, or snake for that matter. When you have encountered aggressive animals, what you can do is, once you see that, let's say for the snake, for the cobra, once they are standing upright, like the cobra standing upright like this, right? Once they are standing upright, that is when you have to retreat. You have to look at the eyes of the snake. You look really sternly at the eyes of the snake, and you slowly retreat. Okay, perlahan-lahan you mengundur, you retreat. By retreating and not and keep connecting your eyes with the eye of the snake, you are actually giving them a signal that you are not here to threaten them or to attack them. Once you retreat, it will also retreat, but that needs practice lah. Okay, they need practice. For elephant, is also similar. Once you encounter an elephant, okay, or tiger, the instinct in you will be like you have to run away because you are scared that the elephant will trump on you, okay, or the tiger will charge you. However, the experts say when you encounter these types of aggressive animals, do not run away, because when you run, the animal will get the animal Bahasa Melayunya terkejut. When you run away, you terkejut, you lari, the animal will go and try to catch you because they are also taken aback by your drastic response. So that's why when you encounter these types of a situation, you have to look the elephant in the eye. Of course, it's difficult because you are scared. You look the tiger in the eye, okay? Even though your hearts are pounding, you have to remain calm. You really have to remain calm and then try to retreat. Okay, this is what the experts say. I'm not sure whether I can do that if this happens to me, but let's try to keep ourselves calm because animals will attack you or will charge at you if they feel threatened. Okay, right. Another types of defense mechanism is armor and weapons. So if you look at these types of animals, they have armors, okay, armors and weapons. We have porcupines, okay, on which they will release their long and sharp spine. Okay, this will be their weapons. Some of them we call it armor, okay, for armadillo. Okay, they do not secrete any secretion. They do not have venom. They cannot run really fast. Okay, what they can do is they have to curl up. Okay, they have to curl up and then curled up like a ball, and that shell of theirs or that armor of them will help them from being eaten by the predator. Similarly for armadillo, similarly for echidna. Okay, but echidna, they will release the spine as well. Okay, this is armor and weapon. When you look at shells, okay, in the sea, shells are not able to move really fast. Okay, they are not able to move really fast. They cannot move at all if it is left uh, to themselves. They can only move with the help of the current in the seawater. So how are they going to protect themselves? Okay, they protect themselves by having a very hard and strong shell. Okay, this is their armor for the bivalves or for the clams or for the cockles or for the mussels that we have, okay, in the ocean. All right. So I think this we are almost there. Okay, this one we have alarm call. Okay, alarm call. Alarm call is when alarm call is usually being displayed when a predator is sighted. If you look at this image here, we have squirrel. Okay, we have ground squirrel. So what will happen if if one squirrel encounter a predator, that squirrel will screams. Okay, it will screams and shouts, and it has um, a very loud a call. Okay, that screams or that alarm call will give warnings to other squirrels not to come any nearer, and for the other squirrel to go into hiding. At the same time, that squirrel is attracting the attention of the predator to itself. Okay, so this is apa ya kind of macam pengorbanan that has to be done by the squirrel in order to save other squirrels within that population. It screams when it sees a predator. Predator will see the squirrel. It will there is a high possibility that that squirrel will be eaten or will be attacked by the predator, but okay, it will save other squirrel in the population due to its alarm call. Okay, this is how some animals protect themselves, right? Another types of protection are being showed by other by other by other species of birds on which they also have alarm calls, and that alarm calls, instead of kalau squirrel tadi, when they hear the alarm call, they will go into hiding. But other species, especially some type of birds, when they hear the alarm calls from other species, from other individuals of the same species of bird, they will they will go out in groups, okay? They will go out in groups and harassing the predator. Contoh, when we have an owl is huge, okay? It feed on smaller birds. What happens is that when the small birds gives an alarm call, other birds of the same species will come out and kind of harassing the owl. Then the owl will fly away. Similarly for hyena is small. However, the prey is large. Okay, sometimes hyena tu it could be as small as a large cat. Okay, hyena tu agak kecil lah. Okay, quite small, but their prey is larger. Sometimes their prey is the cow. Sometimes their prey is the bison. So how are they going to attack a larger prey? So what they are going to do is they will be working in groups. Okay, but let's say 20 hyenas will go and harassing the cow, and it will start on attacking the prey. This is how they work in group. But in this case, we are talking about alarm call. Okay, alarm call for the small birds will give a signal for other individuals to come and help the prey that is being threatened by the predator. Okay, all right. I think this is the last few slides. Let's see how many slides do we have. Yeah, about nine slides more. Okay, the next one we have predator satiation. Predator satiation. What does it mean? Predator satiation is the predator can only eat so much. Even though the predator is aggressive, okay, they will stop to feed on the prey once they feel full, once they are full. Even though the prey are still aplenty in that area, they will not keep on eating. They will stop eating because they are already full or satiated. Okay, sudah kenyang. Even though the prey are all over, but they will stop eating. This is what we call predator satiation. Okay, this happens to some species because there are other species of animals which will keep on feeding and they keep their the prey, okay, in their body. Macam kalau kita tengok if you look at this is not a case of prey and predator. If you look at camel, though they are able to consume a large volume of water on which that water is being stored, okay, at the hump of their body. But for predator satiation, okay, it will stop eating the prey once they are full. But we do have species of animal which will feed and keep on feeding the prey, and they keep the prey in their kalau ada satu haiwan tu I cannot remember what types of animal, but they keep the prey di bawah dagu ni, okay, under the chin, under their chin. So they, I think some kind a species of bird, if I'm not mistaken, dia boleh makan ikan banyak and keep it under the chin, and they will slowly, gradually consuming the fish. Okay, they do not have predator satiation. They will keep on feeding as long as the prey is there. But defense mechanism for this type of species is predator satiation. All right, so we are done with defense mechanism. Okay, can we have a 5 minutes break so that student can go and oh, we're almost 5 o'clock. Okay, because time is not on our side. I think I have to go much faster now, Bu Nailis. Am I right? Almost 5 now. I get carried away. All right, just a little bit more on cannibalism. Okay, cannibalism is killing or consumption of either all or part of the individual that is from the same species, meaning that you feed on individual of the same species. Okay, this usually this usually happens in animal kingdom. And you know that Homo sapiens also have these types of interaction, cannibalism, especially for those for the for a minority of Homo sapiens which lives in remote area. Okay, because this usually happen when they do not have enough food supply, or when there is too many individuals within that population. Okay, but for animal kingdom, this is almost quite common. All right. When we look at um, animal kingdom, okay, 50% of terrestrial cannibals are herbivorous. Okay, if you look at the rabbits, okay, rabbits are herbivorous. They feed on plants. Okay, if you look at snail feeds on plants. They feed on your vegetables. They feed on your herbaceous trees. They feed on shrubs. Okay, young shrubs. Okay, due to the nature of their food, okay, they are bound to not having enough nutrients. In this case, they will turn to be cannibals. Okay, cannibal. When does the cannibal happens? Okay, cannibalism has happened. Cannibalism might happen when there is not enough food supply. However, cannibalism can also happen when the food supply is plenty, but they do that, okay, they do the interaction, the cannibalism to reduce the number of individuals within that population. Okay, cannibalistic species are predaceous because they are predator. They feed on other species. Okay, usually found in stressed population. Rabbit, sea lion, hippo. There is a case in Africa where they have found quite a number of hippo which is injured and dead, but not being eaten fully, but injured and dead. And and the researcher later found that the hippo that has been attacked by another hippo is actually a result of cannibalism, because the number of hippo at that time are quite large, and also the one that is being attacked is the hippo that is much older. Okay, much older, so they want to give a chance for the younger ones to be having enough food, enough space, enough supply, so that it will grow in a healthy state. So they kind of korbankan the older hippo in a way by attacking the older hippo, so that it will die and gives the chance for the younger ones to live. Okay, and then okay, this is okay, I've mentioned about this one, how why it happens, how long it happens. Okay, usually cannibalism will happen in a short term period only, because once the objective of the cannibalism is obtained, for example, cannibalism happen because there is not enough food supply, so they have to eat, okay, individual of the same species to get the protein from the same species. And then when they have enough protein, they will stop being cannibals. Okay, similarly, if there is too many individuals within the population, so they have to kill the young ones, the very young ones and the older ones, okay, or the weak ones. So once the number stabilize, cannibalism will ends. Okay, so cannibalism promotes selective fitness advantage. It will increase the longevity of the animals within that population. It will also eliminate potential intra-specific competition, eliminates competition within that species. All right, last one, okay, last topic, we have mutualism. Okay, I go really fast here. Okay, mutualism, we have symbiotic and non-symbiotic. This is very easy to understand. Okay, mutualism is together. Okay, together. We have symbiotic and non-symbiotic. Symbiotic means they live together, on which they are, on which both will derive the benefits. Okay, two species live together, symbiotic, both get the benefit. Non-symbiotic, they do not live together. However, both get the benefits. An example of these types of interaction, okay, mutualisms. For mutualism, we have obligatory. Obligatory tu wajib. Okay, mesti bersama. For example, we have lichens. Lichens will only happen when you have fungi and algae. Without fungi and algae that lives together, you will not have lichen. Okay, you will only have fungi, one species. You will also have algae, one species. There is two species which live separately, but obligatory means they live together. They will form lichen. Okay, this is what we meant by obligatory. Facultative means they can live independently. Okay, but they are still interacting. Okay, like for example, algae and fungi just now, that is facultative because they can live separately. But when they are together, they are lichen, right? For obligate non-symbiotic, we have yucca moth and also yucca plants. This is types of plant on which yucca moth can only able to pollinate yucca plants because the structure of the yucca moth is compatible with the pollen of the yucca plant. So they are depending on each other. Yucca moth get the nutrients from the pollen of the yucca plants. The yucca plants in hand will provide the food for the yucca moth, and the yucca moth help to pollinate the yucca plant. So both get the benefits. Okay. Similarly for acacia plants and also acacia ants. Acacia ants protect the plants, okay, from other predator. At the same time, the acacia plant, feed the ants with the food, okay, from its nectar. Okay, with that, okay, I have shared with you my knowledge on mutualism, and then going back we have cannibalism, and further back we have apa tu tadi? Mutualism, cannibalism, and
Then
predation, right? Yes. So I hope students of ITS and UiTM get some knowledge out of this. And if you have any questions, you may ask in our question and answer section. So I'll give the session to Bu Nailis.
okay, thank you very much for an interesting and awesome presentation, Dr. Asmida. And now is a Q&A session. So if anyone has any question, you just raise hand. You just click raise hand and speak directly, or you can write the question in chat of Zoom, please. Okay, student from ITS or UiTM, maybe any question for Dr. Asmida? Okay, or maybe Bu Iska?
I think we have a question from Bapak AO in the chat box. Is that flashing coloration means Batesian mimicry? Is that correct or not?
The question from Pak AU, and this is flashing coloration is Batesian mimicry. It's right.
Or is flashing coloration Batesian mimicry? Um, it depends. If the species that mimics the other species have bright and bold color, it can be called flashing coloration. But when we are talking about Batesian mimicry, it is actually describing how one species resembles other species, not in terms of the color itself. So if one species resemble other species and both have bright and bold color, it could be a Batesian mimicry with flashing coloration. But usually for animal kingdom, those who have flashing coloration as part of the defense mechanism, uh, they do not usually integrate mimicry I mean Batesian mimicry or Malaria mimicry as part of their defense mechanism, because they already have the defense mechanism, which is the flashing coloration. They flash bright bold color to warn the predator. So that is one type of defense mechanisms that they have. So animals usually, once they have one specific um, defense mechanism, they will use that. But I do not I do not orang kata menyangkal, or I'm not saying no to animals having more than one types of defense mechanisms. It could happen lah. It could happen probably to other species that I am not familiar with.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Asmida. Maybe other question?
No question from the student. I think everybody either they fully understand the lecture, or they have so much to ask and they do not know what to ask. So I'm not sure which one is which one do our students stands at.
I think very understand because your presentation is very clearly, Dr.
Is
Asmida.
it? Oh, thank you so much. I'm sorry if you fall asleep in the middle of the lecture, because I know it's late in the afternoon and everybody is tired. But this is the time where this is the only time where we can have mutual time for the students.
Okay, this is a question from Amir Rafiq. Is playing dead include defense mechanism like the possum?
Amir Rafiq, I think he's my student from UiTM. Okay, playing dead is playing dead part of the defense mechanism. Yes, playing dead is also part of defense mechanism. Okay, animals and especially human being, we are very clever. Plants also have their very own defense mechanism. Furthermore, individuals which larger brains, which much smarter. Some species of animals, their defense mechanism is usually this will happen to animals which do not have any other types of defense mechanisms. So the safest way is to play dead, okay, to pretend that they are dead. Okay, this always happen. This is how we survive in the environment, in a surviving environment, where you do not have the benefits of protecting yourself in terms of strong build. You do not have venoms. You do not have armor. You do not have secretion. So the least you can do is to play that, so that the predator will not go and feed on you. But okay, that it depends on your predator. If you play that with certain species of animal which do not use eye to detect the predator, instead they use heat. For example, when we are talking about snake detects their prey based on the heat or the temperature, the heat from the body of the prey itself. So if you play that, okay, there is a chance that the snake will bite you. However, it will reduce the chances of the snake to attack you, because animals usually attack the prey when it is being threatened. Bila dia rasa terancam, then the snake will bite you, because snake do not feed on human. And snake do not feed on unless ular sawa. What do you call ular sawa in Indonesia? The large snake, the snake yang color batik-batik itu di Indonesia panggil ular apa ya?
The meaning of python maybe or
The
not?
python, ya. In Indonesia bahasanya apa? The python?
Python still.
Oh, python.
Sometimes they call sancha.
What's that?
Sancha.
Sanja.
Yes, sometimes the local say sancha, but the other call still big python or
Okay.
python besar, just something like. Because sancha is very widely a lot of.
Oh, I see. In Malaysia, we call python ular sawa.
Yeah. That's the same meaning. Sometimes they call it ular sawah, but we have another species for ular sawah.
Okay.
Different species.
Right. So if you play that with the python, that will not be a good defense mechanism. because they can still detect you and they can still feed on you, because python, even though they are small, they are able to feed large prey. Kan? So ular sawah, uh, it is quite common for the python to feed on the calf of a cow. It is quite normal for the python to feed on chicken. Itu sudah biasa, memang selalu, okay, for chicken. So they are able to detect their prey based on the heat. So playing dead in this case is not part of the defense mechanism when your predator are using heat to detect the prey. But you can use the same mechanism, okay, playing dead with other types of animal. For example, tiger. Tiger do not feed on orang kata the remains of the of other animals, so they can play that. Okay, so that depends, but it is part of defense mechanism for animals. Thank you, Amir.
Thank you, Dr. Asmida. So it's depend on the predator. Yeah.
Yeah, but the rule of thumb here, we as a human being, especially when we go in the wild, in the forest, or in an area which we are not familiar, the rule of thumb here is for you not to make the animals or the organism feel threatened. Okay, when you're in the wild, kalau pergi di hutan, kalau terjumpa apa-apa, let's say you find a large millipedes or a large centipedes for that matter, kalau jumpa, do not touch them. And if you find a large animals, okay, do not get them jumpy. Jangan bagi haiwan itu terkejut. Jangan tiba-tiba menjerit atau tiba-tiba lari atau tiba-tiba do something drastically. Don't do that, because when they are bila dia terkejut tu, they will charge at you. Dia akan di attack. We will be attacked because the animals thought that you are attacking them. Instead, sebenarnya kita bukan attack haiwan tu, kita terkejut dan takut. We are so frightened, we are so taken aback by them. That action is actually being translated differently by the animal. So just try to keep calm.
Oke. Jangan membuat terkejut ya.
Yeah, jangan terkejut. Relax. Relax. I am the one, because I've been teaching for 18 years and I bring my student to the forest. Kalau sebelum COVID, I am teaching 2 courses on which we always bring our students to for a field work in the forest or in the ocean. So I have encountered quite a number of incidents, okay, with animals, insects, poisonous insects. In fact, there is one time when I was giving macam bagi taklimat briefing for the students in the forest. There is a snake on the branch, and I was standing there under the tree with the twigs, and that snake was right up on my head. And my student was there di depan, about 100 students, and they were saying, ular, ular. So and luckily I was there with rangers of the forest, and he was very calm. He told me not to move an inch. And dia kata jangan takut. Sebab dia kata kalau takut, you know, my heart will be pounding and my temperature will be rising. Kan? Kita takut, kita rasa panas, muka kita merah. So dia kata kalau saya translate in Indonesia, Bu, you have to be very calm. Bu, you harus tenang-tenang, kan? So I was frightened, but I try to keep myself calm because I cannot see the snake. And they say it is a very small snake, anak ular saja. So I was like, okay, fine, it's just anak ular, so nothing to worry. And it took a really long time to catch the snake. And it was very small. It was very small, much smaller than my finger. I thought it is we call it ular lidi or ular daun, but the thing is that ular is actually cobra, okay, anak cobra. So I was really I was really lucky to have an expert with me at that time. Otherwise, I would think, oh, itu hanya ular lidi atau ular daun kan. It's not harmful to us. But the fact is, anak kobra tu, if I knew back then it was anak cobra, mesti I feel threatened. I feel scared, and I will want to run away. But I just try to keep calm, and all ends well. So the key word here is you have to try to be as calm as possible.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Asmida, we have one question from Budina. Maybe Budina, you can ask directly, Budina, please. Or maybe Prof.
Thank
Asmida.
you.
No,
Can you hear
is it
me?
staff, right? Budina is the staff, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Apa khabar Budina?
Alhamdulillah, baik. Okay, Prof. Asmi, I have a question. Today's, we know that climate change to be a global issue that affects the both of plants and animals, right? And is it also is it possible if there are a changing in interaction between one animal with another animal because of this problem, because of the climate change?
Right. Thank you, Budina, for the question. All right.
Thank you.
Yes, as we are all aware, our climates are changing, and there are lots of awareness program that has been put forward so that we will try to reduce these changes from keep on happening, because we do know that it will give lots of negative effects to humans, to our habitats, to plants, and to animals. To answer Budina's question, my answer is yes. Okay, there is a possibility that the interaction between prey and predator will change. In what way? Okay, in terms of the types of prey. Okay, let's say if you are a tiger, okay, if you are a tiger, long time ago, you will have different species of small mammals for you to feed on in the forest, because the forests are huge, and they are in tropical country. They have we have different species of small mammals, okay, small wild mammals in the forest. But due to current situation on which the temperature keeps on rising, sea levels are also rising, the carbon dioxide is also increasing, so that also affects um, the animals, okay, within the forest. For example, when the carbon dioxide increase, the canopy of a tree will also increase, because carbon dioxide from the industrial, or from the power plants, from the sea itself, is actually a nutrients for plants, so it will increase the canopy of a forest. When the canopy of the forest increase, it will give more sheltered area for animals, or for insects, or for small mammals that is depending on the tree itself. So the species will be evolving. This will take a long time. It will not take 10 or 20 years. It will take more than hundreds of years, okay, for this evolution to happen. So climate change also happened since hundreds of, not hundreds, thousands of years back, okay, thousands of years ago. It keeps on happening at a very slow rates, but the rate is much faster nowadays compared to hundreds of years ago. So this change in terms of climate will also change how we interact with other species. So coming back to the tiger just now, long time ago, tiger might have a huge number of prey to feed on. But due to the current change in temperature, some small mammals are not able to adapt to the higher temperature. They will be reducing in number. They will be reducing in terms of health. when they are reduced in terms of health, they are being considered as the weak individuals. Uh, Weak individuals in natural selection will be removed from the habitat. Dia akan mudah mati, dia akan mudah dimakan oleh predator. So in this case, the the number of species that are available for the tiger is reducing due to that. Okay, due to that. So if there are more small mammals that are able to adapt with the high temperature or with the strong winds, for example, then the tiger will have a larger options as their prey. So that depends on how the prey is adaptable to the change of the climate. Similarly, for the predator itself, if the predator are not able to withstand higher temperature or drier environment, so they will be the one who will have a weaker interaction with the prey. They are not able to catch the prey as fast as before. They will not be able to catch the prey as much as they would like, because they are now in a state where they are not able to withstand the environment. Seperti kita manusia, if it's too hot, we will not feel comfortable. Kalau dalam keadaan yang very comfortable, maybe you can have more than one plate of rice. But if it gets too hot, pinggan is enough for you just to fill your tummy, to fill your stomach at that time. This is how it affect this is the analogy of predator and prey when it comes to climate change. Your adaptation will affect your interaction with the prey. I hope this answers Bu Dina's question.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Asmida. I think since the time has ran out, I think the question from Budina is the last question for today, maybe. Yeah. So before we end the case lecture, let's take a picture together, please, everyone. Maybe you can open your camera and give your nice smile for take a picture. I will. Okay, I will count for I take a picture. Okay, maybe from student, you can open your camera. Student from ITS, hello.
Come on, guys. Don't be shy.
Student from UiTM, from ITS, can you open your camera?
You can
Yes.
open your camera and give your nice smile to your camera.
we also have Ibu Dewi, Bu Wirda, and
Bu Wirda,
Dian.
Thank you Bu Dewi and Bu Wirda.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see we have quite a number of students. Hasif, Amir, Lutfi,
Okay.
Bu Dewi. Yeah, I can see Bu Dewi now. Bu Wirda, Zufar, Mama Alif.
Student, ITS student.
Mama Alif is ICF student, right?
Student.
Alif is from
Alif, yeah.
IT.
Yufar, Alif is ITS student. Okay, I will count 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Again. I don't know the symbol of ITS.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Asmida, for your time and valuable knowledge for in this case lecture. We hope to continue this collaboration in the future, maybe in research or collaboration and the others. And ladies and gentlemen, may I thank you very much for your active participants and in this case lecture. I hope you enjoy and get useful knowledge from this guest lecture. See you later in next guest lecture. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof. Asmida.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Bu Nelis, Bu
thank you,
Iska,
Shah.
and
Terima
all
kasih Bu. Terima kasih.
you student.
Thank you everyone. Good afternoon.
I will